Caitlin Clark has officially denied the offer to join the Unrivaled League. Why did she break her silence? Because Unrivaled trolled the nation today. They had been trolling for the last 10 damn days.
Caitlin Clark just exposed Unrivaled in a way no one saw coming.
Because this was ridiculous. From that 22-minute video, from all of the stuff that they did, we need explanations explaining why did y'all lie to the nation.
Caitlin Clark just revealed something unparalleled in a way that none anticipated.
Now, Unrivaled did the funniest thing last night that got a lot of us hooked.
Following weeks of buzz implying that she was involved with Clark, disclosed that they had used her name without. Fans are incensed about the consent to sell tickets. And unparalleled quiet is making things worse. Worse.
Y'all made it seem like Caitlin Clark was coming to this damn league. Y'all was telling people in the media Caitlin Clark was on the way. Let's be for real.
This is a league stoop. Low and Caitlin Clark's future plans. In the middle of Caitlin Clark's, the world of basketball for months now, her outstanding achievements that make news reports and her name being equivalent to being in control of the court. However, it appears that not everyone is happy to let her talent do the talking. Current dispute involving the basketball league that is unmatched, and the purported abuse of Clark's name has generated a flurry of criticism and placed the emphasis on the rights of athletes in the period of zero agreements.
I think it was about the respect that Caitlin lacked this upcoming season. The league was so damn disrespectful to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark gets the last laugh.
It all began, quite innocently, or so it appeared, superior to a new basketball league, seeking to make a name for itself in the competitive sports market started to decline. Clues suggesting Caitlin Clark could be adding the recommendation to their roster wasn't overt, yet it was powerful enough to convince followers that social media was overflowing with rumors and tickets. Pre-sales for games that are unmatched soared for weeks, and the excitement persisted. To construct with unparalleled soaking in the pay attention to Caitlin Clark's issue, never consented to participate.
11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. is a very specific time frame and a very specific amount of minutes for a video to be 22 minutes. Obviously, we all know that Caitlin Clark is number 22, and that has been the person that has been the most anticipated person that people either want to see in Unrivaled or people are just waiting to see if she is going to do it or not.
For supporters who had made an investment, both monetarily and emotionally, the concept of Clark's admission into the league, it felt like a betrayal to reveal. Yet for Clark herself, it was much worse. A flagrant breach of her zero rights, and an effort to take advantage of her established reputation for financial gain.
Just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports.
Clark isn't unfamiliar with the limelight, her brilliant. She is a house thanks to her performances. Well-known brand in the basketball community, and her celebrity has attracted unparalleled focus on women's sports, but this most recent instance represents a pivotal moment for her career as well as for the treatment of athletes in the professional sports industry when Clark, breaking her silence over the matter that she didn't mince words in a direct statement. She denied having anything to do with Unmatched and denounced their behavior as a gross misappropriation of her name and likeness. It was evident that she wouldn't put up with being taken advantage of, and that her brand was something she designed to safeguard at all costs. The reaction versus Unmatched was instantaneous, and ardent supporters who had fallen for the hype sought reimbursements, and social media was burning with demands for responsibility. The league that had been dominating the surge of conjecture unexpectedly found itself in damage control. mode, but rather than dealing with the problem head-on, Unmatched opted to remain silent, a choice that only served to increase the fury. Additionally, for Clark, the dispute was the chance to advocate not only for herself but for athletes worldwide. The growth of nil agreements has provided participants with greater authority over their professions and their individual brands. However, instances such as this one emphasizes the continuous obstacles they encounter by speaking up. Athletes received a strong message from Clark: have names that are not commodities, and it is impossible to use reputations without their unmatched acts of consent. Also increase greater concerns on the morality of the desire of sports marketers to increase ticket sales and create buzz around the league went beyond what should never be done, have been used in conjunction with Clark's name to advertise their brand without getting her consent. Wasn't merely a PR blunder, it was a strategic action that put profitability first. Integrity, the consequences have been damaging for their unparalleled credibility has suffered greatly, and they have tried to avoid criticism by sponsors have just made things worse, allegedly reevaluating their collaborations, and supporters who had. The league is currently wondering if trustworthy for a league that was already having trouble establishing themselves. This dispute might turn out to be a deadly strike, yet the consequences of the occurrence is considerably more than unique. It's a warning to the whole sports industry, a reminder to the industry that athletes are not merely roster names, they're people with reputations and rights that are worthy of respect. The emergence of players have benefited from nil agreements more greater control than previously. However, as this circumstance demonstrates that there are still numerous businesses eager to take advantage of them for Caitlin Clark's personal benefit. This experience has only made her stronger role as a leader both within and outside of court. Her choice to expose Unmatched wasn't merely a self-defense maneuver, it was an example of the strength that athletes possess when they advocate for Clark. Supporters have come together, surrounding her, and her standing as an ethical and unafraid rival has only increased. But this dispute is also a warning story that emphasizes the dangers associated with being a prominent athlete and the significance of diligence in safeguarding one's reputation. For Clark, the lesson is a definite triumph. Only a portion of the equation involves the court negotiating the intricacies of zero rights and keeping her under control. Personal branding will be as crucial as her gameplay performance. In the meantime, the repercussions of unmatched behavior continues to reveal. The silence of the league on the subject has only made the confidence between supporters, sponsors, and there are increasing calls for accountability louder every day, whether it is unmatched or not. It will take time to recover from this disaster observed, but one thing is for sure: activities have caused a permanent stain on their standing, and it will require more rather than a few well-crafted sentences to fix the harm caused by this tragedy. As well poses significant queries regarding the function of accountability and transparency. Fans and sponsors in sports marketing both wish to have faith in the incidents and the organizations they support, such as this one erode that confidence. For leagues such as Unrivaled convey the concept that obvious short-term athlete exploitation, long-term profits are a lost strategy. Caitlin Clark's next course of action will be attentively observed to see if she chooses to take legal action or just allow her comments to serve as a warning. The response will establish a significant precedent for other athletes dealing with comparable contests. Clark's readiness to talk. There have already been repercussions from out, signifying more extensive discussions of the significance of nil rights and the requirement for increased responsibility in sports. Fans' marketing for this dispute has been a difficult pill for many to take, devoted their time and resources to backing Unrivaled because they thought they were supporting a league that would raise. Instead, women's basketball has been left wondering if the league can be trusted despite the pain of betrayal. And the fallout has served as a warning for all parties concerned. But amid the Caitlin Clark, despite the mayhem, one thing is certain. Plays basketball, but she's also a trailblazer's readiness to take a stand for herself and expose instances of injustice. An inspiring example for other sportsmen. And her behavior will surely have a long-term effects on the sports industry as, after everything is said and done, the lessons learned, it will be difficult to ignore the controversy. Leagues of athletes and sponsors will to reconsider their responsibilities and obligations, and the significance of accountability and openness will just keep getting bigger for Caitlin Clark. This is only one more phase of her life. Already outstanding tale, a tale that is distant from the league that is unmatched, which had aspirations to upend the world of basketball, is currently in survival mode, and their poor management of the name and picture of Caitlin Clark weren't simply a poor public relations strategy, it was a basic. Fans who had first experienced a betrayal of trust backed the league are now wondering. Its sponsors and repute are probably reconsidering their pledges in an sector where reputation and trust are everything that deeds that are unparalleled could have disastrous outcomes. One of the most obvious problem is unparalleled refusal to confront the dispute directly. Silence could seem like a better course of action, yet it's doing more harm in this instance. Rather than good by evading responsibility, the league is stoking rumors and ire. Social media is rife among enthusiasts with postings requesting responses, and every passing day without an answer simply makes the mistrust. This is more than simply a warning. Unmatched story that serves as a wake-up call. For all sports organizations, the increase of zero deals have provided athletes with unparalleled authority over their fans, and personal brands are more as sensitive than ever to fairness concerns and openness. Leagues that don't observe these dynamics at the risk of alienating their audience and causing harm to their Caitlin Clark's reputation is beyond repair. The controversy's response has been nothing less than exceptional by taking a stance and voicing unmatched. She hasn't just stood up for herself, but also provide a strong illustration for Clark's activities have impacted other athletes, generated a more extensive discussion around the significance of nil rights and the requirement for sports marketing accountability. Her readiness to voice her opinions demonstrates a degree of leadership and maturity that above her years, but Clark's making the choice to take on Unrivaled wasn't. It was only about defending herself, on safeguarding the integrity of the women's basketball as a sport has made amazing progress in previous years with players such as Clark are attracting record-breaking focus on the game. Occurrences such as this could jeopardize that advancement by diverting attention from the sport itself, followed by the disputes pertaining to it. For supporters, the betrayal by being unmatched has been a painful pill to swallow. Many people were optimistic about the league that thinks it might raise basketball for ladies and offer a platform where gamers can shine. Instead, they are now left wondering if the league is completely trustworthy. Fallout has served as a sobering reminder that significance of openness and taking responsibility for fostering fan loyalty. The dispute has also brought attention to the mechanics of power at work in sports leagues over the world for years, and all the cards were held by organizations with athletes are frequently left to handle a system that put financial gain before of their well-being, and the increase in zero agreement has changed the equilibrium, providing participants greater authority over their professions and their individual brands. However, as this circumstance demonstrates that there is still a long, unmatched actions have generated a surge of criticism from sources other than supporters, but also from other sources inside the sector. sportsmen have expressed their support for. Clark denouncing the actions of the league and demanding stronger safeguards for athlete solidarity makes a strong point that they are not alone in their struggle for justice, and reverence for the route to redemption, which is unparalleled, will take a while to restore trust. Want more than a simple apology in public? It will necessitate significant action. The league will have to provide evidence of sincere dedication to upholding nil rights and making certain that comparable future events don't occur, whether they're prepared to accept those. Meanwhile, steps are still to be seen. Caitlin Clark's standing is still. Develop her choice to advocate for herself has only made her stronger. Role as a leader both within and outside of court. Supporters have come together to support her, and her deeds have brought her widespread a commendation from the entire sports world. Clark's readiness to face injustice provides a compelling illustration for other sportsmen, demonstrating that it's feasible to stand without jeopardizing your professional life. But there is more to controversy than just education. Experience for an unparalleled triumph. For Clark, it marks a sea change for the rise of zero in the whole sports sector. Accords have provided sportsmen with more control than previously, yet occurrences such as this one emphasize the difficulties that accompany that newly acquired power. Leagues and groups will have to adjust to this new situation, making sure that they honor athletes' rights while simultaneously satisfying fans' requests and funders. For Clark, the knowledge gained from this dispute is obviously being protected by her brand will be equally crucial as her on-court performance, and negotiating the intricacies of zero rights will necessitate attention and approach. But if she manages to circumstance is any sign that Clark is more than capable of handling her actions, having displayed a certain composure and determination that surpasses her years, and her standing as a pioneer keeps expanding the fallout from. Additionally, unparalleled deeds have provoked more extensive discussions regarding the function of openness and responsibility in both sponsors and supporters of sports marketing wish to have faith in the organizations they assist with. Occurrences such as this one erode that confidence for leagues such as. The message is unmistakable. Taking advantage of athletes to make quick money is ultimately a losing tactic because it's challenging to predict the future of Unrivaled. State the league's next course of action. Credibility has been seriously harmed, and it won't be simple to regain trust. Feat sponsors have the option to keep a distance. Oneself, as well as betrayed fans, could be hesitant to provide the league with an additional opportunity for a fledgling group attempting to make a name for itself. This dispute in a cutthroat market might turn out to be a lethal blow, but one thing is certain in the midst of the confusion. Basketball player Caitlin Clark is more than just that player. She's a formidable opponent. Her readiness to advocate for herself and expose injustice establishes a strong example for her and other athletes. Actions will surely have a long-term influence on the sports industry. Clark's capacity to handle this controversy, grace, and perseverance have only confirmed her status as one of the game's most important players. As after everything is said and done, the lessons learned, it will be difficult to ignore the controversy. Leagues of athletes and sponsors will to reconsider their responsibilities and obligations, and the significance of accountability and openness will just keep getting bigger for Caitlin Clark. This is only one more phase of her life. Already outstanding tale, a tale that is far from the long-term effects of this dispute over unmatched remnants. Unsure, but the knowledge it has imparted. Respect from the sports world is priceless. Transparency in marketing for athletes and responsibility for acts shall be. Caitlin, this is not negotiable going forward. Clark's anti-exploitation stance isn't simply a win for her, but it's a win for all athletes who have ever experienced helpless against corporate avarice. Clark's actions going forward will act as a standard for how athletes should, able to defend and assert their rights. Considering their reputations, the sports industry is evolving, with Caitlin Clark in the forefront. If the charge is on or off the court, she is demonstrating that she is more than just she is a trailblazer as a player, and the impact will last for many years.